Okay, guys, before we get into this, you know what to do. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you dislike the video, hit the thumbs down. And if you really like the video, go ahead and sub to the channel because you know that's what helps me out the most. Also, hit that notification bell when you sub so you get updated on the newest content that I drop. Also in the background, yes, my smoke detector is still dying. Yes, I have not made it to Walmart to buy some batteries. So it's going to say, boop, low batteries. Don't mind that. Let's get into Tyson Fury responding to Dillian Whyte suing the WBC. Excuse me as I turn to my left so I can read this for y'all. So let's move. Boom. All right. He won't get very far with suing because everything's been put on hold, hasn't it? It's like the world has been put on hold. So everything has to move along with the holdback. I was supposed to fight in July, but that's not happening now. I'm not going to sue from it because it's the pandemic, and obviously I'll get nowhere. But I'm sure his lawyers know what they're doing with it all. Said Fury to behind the gloves. So let me get rid of this. We'll just do this, make it faster. Boom. All right, you big dosser. I don't really think that's what's going on here. I think the pandemic isn't what set Dillian Whyte off. I think what set Dillian Whyte off was your own comments, Tyson Fury, talking about Usyk, the winner out of Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois, are important than a Dillian Whyte fight. That those are also mandatories that you might have to satisfy when you beat AJ, if you beat AJ. And then on top of that, it's not just about him not getting his shot. It's about you not allowing him to interject himself in between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. That has nothing to do with the pandemic. See, the pandemic delayed you from fighting in July, which in turn delayed you from fighting whenever you were going to fight AJ, say at the end of the year, December-ish time, or beginning of the year, January time frame, right? That's what this did if you got your roadmap. However, what Dillian Whyte is saying is after you fight Wilder, win or lose, he doesn't care who wins or lose. He's fighting for that WBC belt before they get a shot at the undisputed title with AJ. That's where it is. Your plan is Wilder, AJ, maybe Usyk, maybe the winner out of Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois. Then you might give Dillian Whyte a shot. Maybe. So I think that's what this is about. It's not about the pandemic slowing everything down. It's not about COVID-19 making him have to wait even longer than he's already waited. That's how I read it. That's how I see it. But I did notice in this that Fury talking about he knows what he stated that Dillian Whyte's lawyers know what they're doing. He's sure of it. You know, what he didn't say was that he would fight Dillian Whyte. What he didn't say was he was not going to vacate the title for a franchise title. What he didn't say speaks volumes, because if you're going to speak on this, then truly speak on what your intentions are. If you're going to speak on not having to fight your mandatory, or excuse me, what your mandatory is doing, then speak on if you're going to fight your mandatory or not. Because as far as we know, from what everybody's been seeing and heard reported, it's pretty much what you said. You want Wilder, AJ. What Bob Arum said was, if Whyte pursues this mandatory, he's going to have you vacate, petition for you to become franchise champion. Now, what Eddie Hearn said was, out of his mouth was, y'all made a 2-fight financial agreement. That's it. So you have to fight Dillian Whyte. He also said in that same interview. That's what I'm more interested in. I don't really give two shits about what Dillian Whyte doing legally. What I want to know, Tyson Fury, and I don't know why this question wasn't asked, is when are you, the Gypsy King, the best boxer around, the boxer that if he doesn't get nailed to the canvas, nobody can hold him down. When are you going to speak on, are you going to fight Dillian Whyte or not? That's the only relevant question. That's a question that you can't seem to find the answer to. That's the question that you can't even bring up. So until you give an answer on that, I don't really give two shits what Tyson Fury puts out, to be honest with you, because in my opinion, in my book, you're ducking him. You're doing everything you can to evade him, dodge him. For what reason? I don't know. I believe Dillian Whyte can beat Tyson Fury, but maybe he can't. Maybe Tyson Fury gets in there, dances around him, lets Dillian Whyte gas like he's notorious for doing, and then knocks Dillian Whyte out in the later rounds. That's very possible. It's very possible that when we look at Tyson Fury box, he might be the greatest boxer since Klitschko, the greatest boxer since Lennox Lewis, the greatest boxer since Mike Tyson, the greatest boxer since Larry Holmes, the greatest boxer since Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, etc., 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 etc. He might be the best, but nobody will know how great he is until he fights the best out there. Yes, AJ is the king because he holds 3 of the belts. But you cannot deny what Dillian Whyte has done. The only person to beat Dillian Whyte is that king with the 3 belts, AJ. With that being said, we don't know how great Dillian Whyte is. Dillian Whyte may get in there and knock Tyson Fury out. He may beat Tyson Fury on points. We don't know because it hasn't happened. And then AJ may come and knock Dillian Whyte out again. And then exactly what I just said about Tyson Fury might be the truth about AJ. Or if we flip it, Whyte might get in there with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury can knock him out just as bad as he did Deontay Wilder. Beat him from one end of the ring to the other. Knock Dillian Whyte out. Then Fury goes in there and fights AJ. AJ knocks out Fury. Maybe AJ's the best since Klitschko, the best since Lennox Lewis, the best since Tyson, etc., 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 etc. Maybe AJ's that guy. But the way that you find out who that guy really is by the guys actually fighting the best person put in front of them. And how I see it with the WBC, Dillian Whyte has beat more top 10 ranked fighters than Tyson Fury. They both beat 2 world champions, whether they were current or former. They both have 2 world champions underneath their belt. I feel after a 1,000-day wait, Dillian Whyte has done enough to finally get a title shot. Again, if it's that easy of a fight like Tyson Fury said, then he should get in there, beat him with ease, and then fight AJ mid to late next year. What's the issue with that? AJ's got to fight Pulev. AJ might actually have to fight Usyk before he can even do an undisputed, because Usyk already said he wants his shot as long as Usyk can get through Chisora. And I can tell you this, if Chisora gets mandatory, there's no way in hell David Haye is going to entertain letting Chisora stand off to the side so Fury and AJ can fight. So that ties AJ up for at least 2 fights. So you got Wilder. That's 1 fight. Who's Fury going to fight next? In the meantime, there's only one person for him to fight. And if he vacates that belt, what we could end up having is the vacated WBC belt going to Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte, and the winner out of that going to AJ for undisputed, and nobody fighting Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury pretty much sealed his own retirement. Because I'm sorry, if you're going to claim to be lineal, if you're going to claim and hold that high status of the man that beat the man, then you don't run from no man. That comes with being lineal. That comes with deeming yourself the best, the man. The man don't back down from no man. The man runs up on any man who's willing to stand in front of him. That's what lineal means. I think that's what's getting lost here. When you think about the lineal champions of the past, they didn't run from people. They weren't scared of people. Fuck, Lennox Lewis wanted Holyfield. He wanted Tyson for so long, and he got him and he beat him. Tyson wanted Larry Holmes. He got him and he beat him. Larry Holmes really didn't want to fight Ali because Ali was way past and he was begging the referee to stop the fight because he was beating Ali so bad, but he got in there and did it. Joe Frazier. Well, I guess you would say Ali first because Frazier beat him when he came back after that long break. So you had Joe Frazier. He wanted Ali. Ali wanted him. He beat Ali the first time. Ali came back, beat him twice, got his status back as that man. Why? Because the man don't back down from nobody. Fucking Muhammad Ali went against George Foreman, who everybody in the world thought was going to kill him. Literally kill him in the ring. His own wife thought Foreman was going to kill him and didn't want to fight. What did Muhammad Ali do? He fought him because that's what that lineal title means. You are the man. And if you're scared, if you're backing down, then that should be a status that should be stripped. It really should be able to be stripped from somebody, just like a real title. If you're lineal and you're too scared to fight somebody, oh no, then that baby right there need to go to AJ, who so far looks to take on all comers. That right there belongs around AJ's waist or above his head, wherever imaginary titles go. I guess it would be above his head. That's where that title deserves to be. If you're not going to live up to your lineal status, it needs to be removed from you. And if you drop that belt, if you vacate that belt to dance around Dillian Whyte, just like I believe Wilder did for so long, then I believe AJ should be considered the lineal champion. I really do. I think the Ring Magazine belt should go over to AJ. They both beat Klitschko. The only difference is AJ's beat a hell of a lot more top 10 fighters than Fury. AJ's defended his belt a hell of a lot more times than Fury did because Fury has never defended a title. Not once. He beat Klitschko, vacated all 3 belts, went on a Tony Montana spree, sniffing cocaine in Miami. Came back, beat Deontay Wilder, got the belt. The first time he needs to defend the belt against a mandatory, guess what he's doing? Not wanting to defend the belt. So all I can say, this article really doesn't mean much to me because the real question is, Tyson Fury, what are you going to do? Are you going to fight your mandatory or are you going to vacate your belt like Bob Arum is talking about doing? Are you going to live up to your lineal status? Are you going to prove that you are the man? That's all I got to say on this. Thank y'all for watching. I will be live on Sunday at 2 p.m. Normally it's Saturday, but I had to alter that due to stuff going on the weekend. So Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be live. Catch the live stream. Again, that is Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll see y'all in the next video.